everyone. It is Lori and Spagna here with you today. I want to chat about the upcoming triple Stargate portal of 2024. It's a doozy. So, those of you who know me well know that for the past, something like 15 years or more, every time we have a triple Stargate portal, I do DNA activations. We'll talk about that too. But this year, the triple Stargate portal happens to fall on the Lion's Gate. And every year on the Lion's Gate, we also do DNA activations. So this year, this is the first time we're doing DNA activations this year. And it's the only triple Stargate portal. So let me break this down. And I know for those of you who know me, you've listened to this, but this year is exceptionally spectacular. And I want to explain why. First, let me just I'm going to just do a slight divergence here, which I often do, about the year of the dragon. So, year of the dragon, depending on who you are and how you have been processing this year, how you've been navigating this year known as 2024, which happens to be year of the dragon. Some people are experiencing a lot of challenge. A lot of people are experiencing an incredible amount of fear and uncertainty, hesitation, various degrees of uncertainty, instability. And of course, we can see this politically, we can see it, geopolitically, we can see it physically in terms of earth changes, we can see it economically, we can see it socioeconomically, we can see it across globally. It is not just limited to any one country. So, dragon energy is about mastery. It's really about mastery. A fabulous example is the Avatar series, which really, to some degree anyway, is really about the different characters coming into their own degree of mastery. And whatever the storylines are, that's a prevailing, throughout each of those series, that's a prevailing message there. And, that avatar is the exemplification of a being who is coming into their avatar level consciousness. Well, dragon teaches that. And so this is often why so many people are being faced, in a sense, with their own fears, anxieties, their what we call shadow aspects, their unconscious manifesting instantly in some cases, or close to instantly. The other day I went to the bank to deposit a check, at the ATM. Those slots, they take the check like any which way, you just stick it in there, right? But I had this thought while I was putting the check in, I want to make sure I put this in right. I better put it in right. I don't want it to get jammed. Instantly, within less than 30 seconds, the check got jammed. And I call this miscreating, right? I am creating, because of my frequency, the energetic frequency, I'm creating in real time all the time. I literally can have like a thought and it'll show up in my physical world just like that. That is part of how we elevate in a year of the dragon. We start seeing our consciousness manifesting in real time. Now, that's not for everybody. It depends on your frequency bandwidth. You're always manifesting. It's just that in other years prior to this year, there was more density. In other words, more gravity. In other words, more slowness. In other words, more distance in energetic vibration that created distance between you, your thoughts, your emotion, and the creation that you would experience, which is the cause-effect relationship that you have with the physical reality. In other years, this used to be slower. There was more lag time. This year, because of the goal of Year of the Dragon overall, which is to help us learn a new level of leadership, mastery, elevation, recognition of ourselves as conscious beings, support in new beginnings and higher achievements, continuous elevation, advancement, progress for humanity, for each individual becoming more conscious, because that is part of what Year of the Dragon is. Mastery, self-mastery. What we're looking at is instant manifestation because the energies are so much more intensified, because there is less density in our physical world. It may not seem like that to everybody, but as you elevate in consciousness, as you raise your vibration, as you become a more conscious being, clear, heal, resolve the densities, in other words, the aspects of your unconscious that have caused you some form of pain, suffering, lack, or limitation, your frequency band speeds up, you manifest and materialize things much faster, you become an instant manifestor. You must gain, in a sense, mastery over your own consciousness. So this is a major part of this year, what's been going on. Now, let's combine that with this particular year, the triple portal. We always know, and for those of you who have been listening to me for a long time, you've heard me say this, triple portal is for people who resonate as star seeds or light leaders or light workers. A triple portal is a window in linear time that can be demarcated energetically and astrologically. We can see it. And in numerology, it's when the numbers line up as triple. In this case, 888. So we're in a year 8, 2024. The date of August 8th is the month 8 and 8. That creates a triple portal. Now, why is that relevant? And of course, any astrologer can see this, not just, last year it was 777, next year it'll be 999, right? September 9th. But you can see it astrologically, how the planets line up when you're dealing with a triple portal. Regardless, what that signifies, what that means, is that because we're still playing in the game of linear time, during that window of linear time known as a triple portal, and that window isn't just one day. It builds up to that day, reaches a crescendo on the triple portal day, and then weans off, right? So it's much more than just one day. But that one day is the peak of it, the crescendo of it. And what's going on in that window is, because of it as a portal, it is a time where beings who are here to facilitate in the evolutionary journey for humanity, to bring in more light, to alleviate density, in other words, remove various degrees of unconsciousness, pain, suffering, lack, limitation, etc. Beings like us who know that, recognize that date and work with the energy on that date, knowing that in particular star family races, okay, now that might be out there for some of you, but beings from all over the galaxy, known to humanity, humans, and not known, come together as in a divine appointment to utilize the pure frequency energies that flow in from so-called higher realms or other dimensional realities. We could also say other bandwidths or frequency ranges that are more pure, and we utilize those energies to, we could use the word purify, but what we really mean is heal and resolve or transmute the densities, the gravity, the heaviness, the unconscious that exists in this physical world, so that we can elevate and support in this journey of of evolution on Earth, right? So that is what the triple portal signifies, a divine meeting point for beings who are in a higher consciousness. In other words, those of us who are truly here wanting to make a difference for humanity in a positive way, and who understand that we can work with the higher realms in the non-physical to do so, including other beings who are part of this galaxy, part of this universe, but may not necessarily inhabit Earth, right? And we know that we can connect with them through energy and consciousness to facilitate this transformation. I hope everyone's with me here. So that is the triple portal. Annually that happens. It does happen on other portals as well. For example, I also do honor the 1111 portal because it's a master Stargate portal, and my numbers in numerology are 111111. Those are all my key numbers, and so I resonate with that, and many of you out there resonate. You know, you see the clock, it says 1111. You work with angels and, you know, double and triple numbers. You get it. Not everybody does, but a lot of people do. So that's a significant portal to me. Doubles can be somewhat significant, particularly if they line up with astrological peaks, right? The 1111 does. In any case, the triple portal is always the biggest one of the year. Needless to say, it is just around the corner, less than a month away. This one, now we're going to talk about the fact that it's a Lionsgate portal. So Lionsgate is always symbolic of the time when the astrological signs start to move into the sign of Leo. This is relevant because it's symbolic of the time. Okay, well, there's a lot of interpretations of this, and I'm not going to spend hours going into it, but it is symbolic of Stargate timelines where certain alignments with other timelines, such as the Lyran timeline, if you're familiar with this, and specific timelines where humanity reached a kind of crescendo and was able to, or not able to, have a major breakthrough. Either those timelines did not necessarily come to fruition, in other words, like an end of game timeline, like flooding or something, for example, or they were able to have a major breakthrough. So the 888 Lionsgate portal is also significant in its own right. So Lemurian timelines is a famous one, specifically linked into the Lemurian energies, but it links into all of the major timelines that Earth and humanity has gone through on the awakening journey, and in some cases, right, that it went quite well, in other cases not so well. Regardless, what we're talking about is synchronizing. There's a synchronization with those timelines. Why is this relevant? Because it's a time when you, as an individual, can line up with your incarnational self in other time-space realities and collect some of your divine gifts and virtues, talents and abilities that you may have mastered in those alternate time-space realities. Now, this may sound a little sci-fi to those of you who may be a little more new to this, especially my business entrepreneurial friends, solopreneurs, entrepreneurs. But let's put it this way. Somewhere in time you existed as a master at something or another. Not just one place. Somewhere you mastered some incredible gifts. Maybe you were a master at relationships. Maybe you were a master chef. Maybe you were a master animal communicator. Maybe you were a master group leader, event leader. Maybe you were a master at building something. Maybe you were a master at artwork. multiple lifetimes you mastered things in different time-space realities. And those versions of you during a triple Stargate portal and a Lion's Gate become more available to you to collect those gifts, talents, and abilities and bring them into this reality. Now, it's not something you just automatically know how to do, but it's something I've been teaching and doing for years, not only for myself, but for my students and my clients. So I often talk about how I really never learned animal communication in this lifetime. I mastered it in other lifetimes, and I was able to learn how to claim it in this lifetime. Same thing about astrology and numerology and nameology. I use those tools. I am a fabulous numerologist, a fabulous astrologer, a fabulous sacred nameology person. I learned those tools in other lifetimes. I never studied them from a book. I reclaimed them through organizing and synchronizing with the law of synchronicity. This might sound out there for some of you, but you can do this too. And whatever you're masterful at, it will serve you, it will serve your students, it will serve your clients, it will serve your loved ones, your family members, yes, your animal companions too. It'll serve your lineages, your descendants, your children and your children's children, because you'll be able to access those degrees of consciousness, bring it into this reality, and start to utilize it. It'll become part of your knowing. Now, if this sounds a little too far out there for you, I get it. But I've been doing this for years. It is so powerful and potent. And what starts to happen is you start bringing that into your work, and your clients are benefiting, and they're in awe of how amazing you're helping them. And you're in awe because you're like, I didn't even know I could do this stuff. I didn't even know I had this ability. And you don't even know where it comes from. And it just starts to come online within you. Now, these things are stored in your DNA, of course, because your DNA is linked into your other lifetimes, your incarnations. And if you don't want to go there with me, that's okay. They're linked into your lineage. And you are sharing the bloodlines from your lineage, which includes the gifts of your ancestors, which you are part of that. So you have access to that information. And it's not just information through the brain. It's much more than the kind of information you learn. It's something you start energetically becoming. So this is why this particular Stargate portal, triple Stargate portal, on the Lion's Gate, in the year of the dragon, it's even greater, perhaps, than any other portal any of us have ever lived through, at least since the 11-11-11. At least since then. Even the 12-12-12, that was a big one. I would say those two are the two biggest ones we've had in our lifetime. You know, this for anyone who's alive at this time. But honestly, this is a huge one. So it's going to be an incredible opportunity to utilize and harness these pure frequency energies that are really streaming into our reality from many dimensional realms, purer states, higher dimensions, so to speak. They're streaming in intergalactically, universally, multiverse, even in terms of the multiverse, because ultimately it's all part of the acceleration of consciousness, which is connected to what we could call, if you're willing to go here with me, God's plan for lighted creation, which is a plan of evolution and expansion and uplevelment, where we all get to really reclaim more of the consciousness, the truth, the wholeness of who we really are. And in a sense, where the divine says, okay, I want to come into this physical world in a conscious way through all of the beings who are willing to allow me in as them, at one with them. So I hope this is making sense. This is one of those rare opportunities. This year, the 888 Lionsgate portal, during this year of the dragon, when so many of us are confronting, yes, our unconscious fears, worries, and concerns, but that is all meant to be cleared, healed, and resolved. Which, of course, we do that. We do all of this during the Lionsgate portal. We clear, heal, resolve unconscious patterns and wounding and things that we didn't even realize were interfering in our lives or keeping us stuck or in some form of lack or limitation or fear or anxiety or worry, right? Or overstress or burnt out, overworking, whatever it is. We clear those things. We activate and awaken the dormant potential that's stored in the DNA. We reclaim our mastery from other parallel existences, and we integrate it into our consciousness so we can bring it forward into this physical world. Now, you may be saying, I don't know how to do that. I don't know what that is. But that's the whole point of getting on calls like this. Of course, I do a webinar, right? It's typically a 3-hour webinar. I want to say, for those of you who know me, you already know this. Typically, more than 85% of the people who show up, sometimes as much as 90%, are people who come back to them over and over and over again. Because every time you activate DNA, more of your consciousness comes online. More of your gifts, your talents, your abilities, your dormant potential is claimed and awakened from within you. More of your what you're meant to bring forward into this world, which is your dharma, right? The service, the contribution, the gifts, talents, and abilities that is uniquely you, that makes up your brilliance and your magnificence, that gets activated and turned on. So this is why so many people come back to these DNA activations over and over and over again. This year is going to be a biggie. So that's why I'm making this recording now and sending it out in this newsletter to let you know. So we're doing this on 888. I will, of course, put the link below or in the newsletter so you can register and join us for these DNA activations. You can also go to my website, straight to the website. You'll see, when you scroll down under Work with Lori, you'll see speed activations, DNA activations, sacred key code, and star code marking. It's one link. It's call them speed activations because, believe it or not, when I started, it was just a 15-minute DNA activation, but it has grown to monumental proportions. So they're much longer than that. The first part is a teaching section, and you learn what all of the activations are, what we're going to be getting. Every time it's always different. The second portion is an intense energy healing meditation. It is not just basic meditation. It is definitely not visualization meditation. Your personality self is not the one doing it. It's really, we're working with the higher realms and with our divine team and our own master within us, right? Our own eternal ever being. That is an eternal being that is aware of us as individuals in physical form. So it's quite intense, but very powerful. You do not have to know anything. There's no prerequisite for it. You don't have to have ever done it before. What you're ready for is what you will get, and it will be what's good and right and appropriate for you and your most benevolent best and what you can handle. For those of you who have been doing it longer, you're going to get a lot more, of course, because you're ready. Your body can handle that light. It's not too much, too fast, too soon. It'll be just what's right for you. And of course, you'll be able to bring what you get as you integrate it into the physical world so you can be really experiencing the richness of who you are, awakening more of your magnificence and your brilliance and having more of your divine knowing come online, right? Come to fruition, come to the fullness. You will have more. Not only will your psychic gifts start to really exponentially grow and develop, your intuition, right? We all have intuition. Your consciousness regarding energy will start to develop more and more. Your sense of certainty about your life, about what you're doing, about the direction you're taking, the choices you're making, that will come online. Of course, your ability to help those in your community, your clients and your students, will be super amplified. And most of all, whatever you have mastered in other lifetimes, it just starts coming online. It is truly phenomenal how this happens. This is no longer relegated to the land of the woo-woo. It's all energy and consciousness. And it's because we're going through a radical evolutionary jump for humanity that is lasting, it's going to be lasting well over 50, 75 or more years, right? It started in the 60s. Well, let's say it's going to be even from there. If you could go back from there, it's going to be lasting more than 100 years. But we're in it. So these portal dates are major dates for this. Okay, with that said, I'm going to start to wrap this, but I do hope you will join us for the next live Dormant DNA Activations webinar. It is called officially Speed Activations. It's on my website at LoriSpagna.com. Under the Work with Lori tab, you'll see Speed Activations, DNA Activations. I know you will love it, hugely benefit from it. Your children will too, as well, of course, because children and your descendants are part of your DNA bloodlines. Your animals as well. We always include the animals. So believe it or not, they get incredible benefits. They just energetically, not just energetically, but because they're conscious free will beings, we work with them. And they get stronger, healthier, full of more vitality. They also get mellower, the way a person gets mellower when you meditate, when you relax. People are always astounded by my dog. She's both a little crazy dog with tons of energy, but then if I'm doing meditation or prayer circle or anything where she needs to be calm and quiet, she's just totally chill, right? Because she's got that perfect energetic frequency match for this kind of stuff. Because she's developed it through being with me, working with me, right? All right, I hope this is helpful. I hope this sounds clear. Definitely, if you have questions, head over to the website, to the contact page, or just email me and ask if you're trying to understand. Because I get that this is kind of out there, but I think I'm explaining it in very clear and grounded ways, and I hope it's making sense to you. I know for those of you who have come back over and over again, because like I said, there's 85% of the people 85 to 90% of the people come back over and over and over again. That's how good it is. But for those of you who are listening who maybe have never done it before, or who maybe have never felt it before, or don't necessarily know what it is or fully understand, please feel free to ask questions about it. I hope you will join us. It really is magnificent. And it's like the energy of the DNA activations is quite adaptogen in nature. In other words, it will adapt uniquely for you. It's only what is right and appropriate for you and your unique body and being. Same thing, like for an animal, only what is right and appropriate for them. Same thing when we include our children. And there's a very specific protocol for this, but of course we do this. And only what is unique, right, and appropriate for their most benevolent best. It's adaptogen in nature. It is amazing. And of course, it's up to you because you have free will to choose it. So I hope you will participate. It does not happen if somebody doesn't actively engage and participate, because it's all based on free will. You have to choose it, and you have to engage and say, yes, I'm in. So if you're in, please do head over to LoriSpagna.com. Under the Work with Lori tab, you'll see Speed Activations, DNA, Sacred Key Code, Star Code Marking Activations. Click on that and join us. Of course, it is on 888, the triple Stargate portal of this year, and it will be a very powerful one, given the fact that it is not only a triple Stargate portal, but it is also the Lion's Gate, and it is Year of the Dragon, which is literally asking us to really step into our mastery, our leadership, the new leaders of Earth. And those are those of us who are choosing to engage in a whole new way of consciousness, being light leaders, working with the light to bring more light and consciousness into this physical world. I hope you will join me. I know you will hugely benefit from it, and you will absolutely love it. You will learn so much, and energetically you will shift and change in ways that are just truly phenomenal. So I look forward to having you, seeing you there. It is by webinar. Of course, if you can't be there live, we record it, and the energy still works just great. It's not limited to time or space. So if you're listening in replay, it's just as effective. And yeah, it will be on August 8th of this year, just under a month away. So please do join us. Get in as well before the rate increases, because right now it's at its regular rate. Well, early bird rate is where it's at right now. You want to make sure you get in there and get registered and make sure you're in the list in the group to participate. Okay? All right. I am looking forward to it with you, seeing you there, sharing that sacred time and space with you. And then for now, I'm going to sign off and say farewell for now. I'm wishing you your most benevolent best in all your endeavors. Farewell for now. Much love. Bye-bye.